stop idolizing / worshiping players who really excel in what they do. You don't know them personally, mostly just surface level, but treat each other with respect, though. So, yeah.
Cool. I'm
uh,
gonna go ahead and let you start that one off, E.
okay. One thing I've noticed, one thing I noticed, especially when I started playing, started getting really involved in the FGC about a few years ago, back in 2018, 2019, thereabouts, was, you know, there's a certain amount of respect that people give to, I mean, for lack of a better term, they put other players on a pedestal. And if because you're not those players on a pedestal, or even if you're not particularly good at a game, people kind of have a certain opinion about you, and they treat you a certain way. I myself have been subject. I know it's hard to believe, but I myself have been subject to some extreme cases, some what I would characterize as being extreme cases of rudeness in the FGC. Not necessarily because I was rude to them, but because I guess I wasn't as good as the people they've played in the past as somebody who was starting to play the game. Because I don't know, man. But it's a very weird thing. But meanwhile, if somebody else, if like they were to play like somebody like who was I like if they were to play like Poke Chop or something, they would already give Poke Chop a certain level of respect just based on his name. And I think that I'm not saying that you shouldn't respect Poke Chop. I think you should. But what I'm saying is that you should allot that same kind of respect to everybody you meet, not just people who you think are good at the game. Because I mean, they like you don't know that person, and but you should give them that respect, and you should feel that same way about the people that you're playing within the scene, even more so because you know them and you play them on a regular basis. So it's like I kind of this kind of resonated with me because I've been on the other side of that on that side where it's just kind of like, wow, why are you being such a jerk? Like you don't know me from Adam, but you found a way. I mean, you did it. You found a way to be a jerk. I mean, that's got to be some kind of talent, man. So yeah.
It's on you, Mister Gaming Live.
So yeah, I share the same sentiment with this. I do think that we put like way too much value on people, top players. And again, it's like you give them their respect. Obviously, people have put a lot of time and effort into these games. Some people have been playing these games for their entire lives, especially people that are like a lot of the pros. Some of the people that we consider OGs now. But and this is like with anything. I see this type of behavior in any arena that you can think of, movies, actors, celebrities, all this stuff. And now with famous Twitch streamers and content creators, people because you're considered higher up. It's just a status thing. It's basically what we like status, like a social status. The better you are at a fighting game, people are, oh well, yeah, I respect that guy. It's like you don't really know them, you never met them, and sometimes the case happens where I don't know if you've were talking about this case specifically, E, but sometimes
Mm,
your favorite athlete, you meet your people, they say never meet your heroes because they'll disappoint you.
mm,
Sometimes that's true. You meet somebody, man, this player, he's my favorite. I always support him. And you meet him, it's like, man, that was not a great experience. That might not be the case all the time, but it's definitely the case sometimes. And I
yeah.
just think like we're all human. I know I've seen people that have played like top players sit down and have a match, and they'll be so enamored with this person or so nervous and scared that they just like you just basically lose before you even pick your character. Oh well, I'm facing Daigo, so I just what's the point? I ain't gonna win. Like
No
if
problem.
I'm competing at a tournament, everybody can get it. I don't care who's sitting next to me. I'm trying to take your
Right.
head off. I don't care who you are. Oh, I'm playing Justin. I respect you, but I'm trying to take your head off. I might win, I might not, but I'm not gonna defeat myself before I even press the first jab, light punch, or light kick. I'm not gonna defeat myself before I even get into the match. And I think that's when it starts to get to the point. It's like, okay, they're people. They're not like deities or gods. Respect these people, of course. Treat them with respect, but also that should go both ways. They should also respect other people that they come across, especially people that support them, watch their content, and maybe like put financial support to these people with like donations and stuff like that. But I get it sometimes. Like if it's a case where a person comes up as a top player at an event and a person comes and they're just like doing the most, okay, I can get that. Like, yeah, okay, chill. It's not that serious. But if you're just like you acting like you Hollywood, and you just don't want to interact, it's I don't know. I just don't like that type of behavior. I just think we should all just treat each other. We're humans first before a
Right.
top player. We're just humans first. So respect people with that amount of like decency, But yeah, I get it. We people they look at this, oh man, that's so and so, and that's just like, okay, that's cool. Like I said, like I've met
But what if I'm an omega level human and y'all just regular human?
well, you're in a fairy tale land, sir. That I will tell you that because that only
Alright.
exists in X-Men. And Magneto is one
Nobody
of
who
those,
says that
but
story doesn't matter could ever be an omega level human, sir. Don't even worry about
especially
it.
Oh,
they
you
don't think
salty.
I think I'll say this last thing. I met Smug before at KIT, and Smug, like his
Duff
demeanor,
City.
his Duff City. What you jumping for, boy? I met him and he's so two things. I used to stream on Twitch. I haven't done it in a while, but when I first started streaming on Twitch, I was Street Fighter 5. I was playing. All of a sudden I see on the chat, I think it was Pi at the time. He was in part of Team Pi. And it popped up and it's like, have a good stream, catch you later, good night. And he like hosted me for like 300 views. I'm just like, I'm sitting there looking like, what just happened here? Like, this is a time when I was streaming, I was only had like maybe 20 people max. And I was like, I see 300. I'm like, this got to be a glitch. And I see I'm like, Smug hosted me out of anybody on Street Fighter. He looked at me. He was like, I'm gonna host him. So that was my first experience with Smug, like not directly, personally. Then I met him in KIT, and he was basically like what I saw from like his demeanor and how he acts. He's the same person. I'm like, and that's why to me, Smug is probably one of my most respected players, and like people in the scene, because he just like who you see is usually who he is. That's who he is. He's just a cool, chill guy, and I can respect it. He also box you up in some fighting games, so I can respect that. Like he did it. That was two instances of me like, okay, Smug's got my vote. Like I like the guy, so that's one person I can definitely say like I've met in person and also interacted with online. That's like been pretty cool. So
All right, and what you've all been waiting for, the realest man on the panel to give his opinion.
I already talked, man.
Hey, this man's salty about the story mode stuff, bro. I'm trying to tell you, you gotta come up, you gotta repent, man. That's all you gotta do. Just change the way you think.
I think he's projecting right
you just
now.
been thinking wrong for so long, man. I think the hat too tight.
I think you're projecting right now.
When it comes to like, idolization, it's as old as, I mean, you hear about in the scriptures going all the way back to the bronze calf. I mean, idolization is definitely something that, when we do it with certain people, it's stuff that's just gonna come with it. You have people that idolize, and the next thing you know, you could be talking, you see this all the time. Somebody be in the comments giving their opinion on something, and it's just like, but you ain't placed top one like Daigo, so why does your opinion matter? You see that a lot.
yeah.
Like, idolization is bad because sometimes people can hate a person so much, so you'll see top players getting like, just unreasonable hate for no reason, just coming and being themselves. And people, just because for some reason they just let like certain people have such a big investment in their mind, it's like they see another person, it's like they just have to say something. There's been people in our comments, like every single time we say anything about like Punk or, certain specific players, they gotta say something like, yeah, but when he run that set with me though, it's gonna be different every single time. It's just like, why do they occupy so much space in your brain? Like, this is just a fighting game space, we like, but so no, we should, like, idolization just shouldn't be a thing. We should respect what other players have done, recognize their skill, and all that other stuff. But to get to idolization, it just shouldn't be a thing. Like, it's just no reason. Like, and we like I said before, we see the things that idolization make people do is just, sir, you've become beside yourself, with all this idolization and stuff like that. So, I would, before I started this, I was gonna say something about Daigo, but lately everybody has just been on my case about my
Watch your mouth.
opinions. See exactly about my opinions with Daigo. But definitely, I mean, Daigo, I ain't gonna. Daigo is just a barometer for everything in in fighting games. I mean, he's the Daigo apparently, but yeah, it's just everybody just like let's just calm down with the just letting these players have such a occupied space in your mind that it's just like if that name comes up, it's like you gotta react. It's like his name comes up, I gotta say something like
But
you
I
know
love him.
yeah, or the hate version. So it's like it just shouldn't be a thing, like and it's just sucks to see in the comments, like I said before, stuff you just know you gonna see, like somebody be like, you know what, I really like Street Fighter 4. It was one of the better Street Fighters and stuff like that. I just really respect it, and I think other people should too. And then right behind it, somebody's just gonna be like, "Where's your top 3 placing?" Oh, okay then. It's like, come on, man. Like, so it's something that's just really like bad in the FGC. And like you said, you'll see those
Yeah.
people that like have these high respect for other players, and then like you say, you meet your people at your locals, and they treat them like they're just beneath them or something like that. People that you go to locals and you try to talk to and stuff like that, like, hey, how's it going? And you seem like they ain't giving you nothing, but the next time you see them in like the local, best player come in and they're like, running it's like the Drewski skit, like the people, the 4PF people come up and he's just like trying to record them and hang with them and stuff like that. And it's just like, bro, but we was over here trying to talk with you and you just act like you ain't hear nothing, like you was ghost whispering in the room or something. But yeah, so that's my take on it. I mean, stop the idolization, and die going to go. Go ahead. Anybody else got anything to add?
I mean, like the whole thing is like, like you said, like stop the idolization, stop the worship, man. It doesn't. I mean, it gives you this really, in my mind, it gives you this really warped perspective, and it really affects the way that you treat people. I think. I think like that's my biggest thing. It's like, and I've seen it. It just really, really gets under my skin a little bit because it's like, I mean, I remember, and like Mr. Game and Lift, he's talking about like don't meet your heroes and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, I remember one particular player like saying like kind of like I know they probably didn't mean it like what's called, but it's kind of like whoa man, like what are you saying that for? It's like I say hey like I think this, and they're kind of like oh well where's your, it's like how many tournaments have you won, and it's kind of like oh okay so my opinion doesn't mean anything because I didn't win a tournament, okay I guess.
No, it doesn't.
Like
Apparently.
Yeah, I guess not. But I think like more than anything, I think it's like number one, like stop idolizing the. I mean, you can respect, like I said, you can respect them. That's fine, but stop putting them on a pedestal, man.
Especially when
Stop
you like
putting.
going to ranked on like the arguments people be having about rank online and stuff like that. You give an opinion like are you even beyond gold yet? Like,
Yeah.
all right, bro.
Yeah,
it has seeped into and affected a lot, man. It's kind of
yeah.
like that my senpai notice me senpai mentality.
Oh yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, I think a lot of people they'll defend their person that they're just like so enamored with, and in hopes that they'll like interact with them or something like that. Or hey man, I appreciate you for fighting for me, which that usually never happens. But I think it's that notice me senpai mentality, and also just like I think when we think about like the knowledge in fighting games, people think that like the top players know everything. You can't know everything. There are people out there that you don't know their name. They might not be a pro player, but they have knowledge about stuff. Like you have somebody post a tech video and be like, oh well, has this been tested by so and so? We don't. It's like, I mean, this might be something that nobody else knows, and they'll swear, no, this can't be new because you like who nobody knows you. It's like that don't mean nothing. They don't mean that you can't post something that's not valuable or something that's undiscovered. And just like
Right.
Rexon mentioned about if you like you say something, they'd be like, well, what's your rank? It's like, what does that have to do with anything? Like,
Yeah.
there are some people sometimes that just have like the knowledge or skill. They might not have like the capacity to do it in game, something like that, which I guess in this case is a little different. I was thinking about a separate case with other things, but it's like you just why bring that up? What's the point of even bringing it up? Well, what's your rank? And then I might be like, my rank's higher than yours. Oh, okay. What now? What now? What we gonna what we gonna caveat to now? What's your rank? Oh, higher than
Right.
yours. Oh, well, what kind of car you drive? What?
Yeah, moving the goalposts. Let's go.
You eat turkey bacon or regular bacon? Okay, I don't know what they got to do with anything, but okay. But yeah, it's kind of weird, man. It's just, and you know, that's the thing. Like some people don't have like the capacity to be like, okay, I'm famous, I have a following, and not like let it go to their head. I think, like, in my opinion, 90% of the population, if they get some type of power or notoriety, it's just gonna just propel off into something else. Most people don't have a self-awareness to be like, okay, I have a following, I need to act accordingly, you know, treat people with respect, and hopefully they do the same back to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, and I don't know if it's gonna ever stop. That's the thing. I don't think it's ever gonna stop. It's always gonna continue. People are gonna place people, and like for me personally, when it
I
comes
thought I
to
told you that
celebrities,
we won't stop. I thought I told you that we won't stop.
oh Lord, I like me personally. There's not one celebrity on this earth, on God's green earth, that I care to meet, that I care to well, I won't say care to meet, but there's definitely not one person or celebrity on this person that I'm going to meet and go haywire, fangirl, fanboy over. Not one person, not anybody. There's people that I would like to meet, like Denzel Washington, people that I feel like have something to say or some type of advice or wisdom to give, and just maybe you can pick their brain. But I see people, they see people and they're just like, oh my God, that's them. It's like, bro, what are we doing? That's another person. Like, I get it. You're a fan and you respect what they've done, their catalog of work and whatever. And it might have gotten you through tough times or affected you, but it's like, bro, you don't know this person personally. What have they done for you, like in real life when you were going through struggles, and like I'm talking about some real deal stuff, and like somebody that you know as a friend talk to you. They haven't done that for you. So why are you just like, oh my God, it's that person? It's like, I don't know. That's just me though. There's not one person on this earth that I would ever meet and do that for at all. Like, period. Fighting game, movies, TV, none of that. You know, but I guess I'm just an outlier because I see some people that just lose their mind, and that same type of mentality comes over into the FGC.